What is good, YouTube? This is GoblinHands coming at you with Blue-Eyes Crusadia Guard Dragons test hand. So I have my Blue-Eyes Ultimate Dragon playmat, and guess what's on the other side? It is another Blue-Eyes Ultimate Dragon playmat. That's right, it's my customized Blue-Eyes Ultimate Dragon mat. So I don't know what side to use, honestly. Which one's cooler? That one? Ooh, that's pretty cool. Or this one. Let's use the dark side today. Alright. Boom. We'll do that one right there. And then we'll go ahead and do our Blue-Eyes combos right now. So these are our DDS Blue-Eyes that we're about to use. I have an Imperium Duelist sleeves to give it a little extra flair. A little prismatic dual terminal secret rare for you. And before we get started, let's go ahead and do a few combos, you know, some standard combos. So let's start with the any two Crusadias. So Maximus is pretty cool because he's light, but Arborea is definitely the second best, and Draco's the best Crusadia in the deck. So this is probably the third, and then Reclusia is fourth, and then Regulus is fifth, or Leonis is fifth. So let's go ahead and start with these two. So because this guy's light, you actually want him to end in the graveyard. So you want to use his effect. So if you're going to use his effect, that means you have to actually normal summon this in order so you'd have a monster zone with a link arrow that points to it so you can actually activate his effect. So let's do that. We'll go ahead and normal summon Crusadia Leonis, and then we'll go ahead and send him to the graveyard for Crusadia Magius. And now you have a monster zone that has an arrow that points underneath it. So you could special summon Maximus to your field. And since you did, you can activate Magius's other effect, where if a monster is special summoned underneath the zone that it points to, you could search your deck for a Crusadia Draco, or any Crusadia monster, in which case it is usually a Crusadia Draco. If you have Draco, I go for Arborea. And then you could go ahead and link summon the Crusadia Spatha. And now with the Draco, you could special summon it underneath Spatha. And when Draco is special summoned, all the Crusadias have that effect, by the way. They could special summon themselves to a monster zone with a link arrow that points to it. So you could special summon the Draco. Draco has an extra effect where it's, when it's special summon, you could add any of your Crusadias from your graveyard to your hand. So since we use Maximus, let's go ahead and add Leonis, because now we still have Leonis that we could use later on in the turn as an extra extender. So then we could go ahead and send Draco. Since it is a dragon, we could send it to the graveyard to link summon Guard Dragon LP. And when a monster is special summoned underneath Spatha, you can move that to a new monster zone. So we'll go ahead and move LP to the right. So now you have a monster zone with two link arrows that point to it. That means you could actually use Guard Dragon LP's special ability to summon a dragon from your deck. And the dragon that we're going to go ahead and summon is Starly Safer. Now if you have some of the baby Chaos Dragons already, then you could go for White Stone of Legend, so you get a little bit extra advantage. But if you don't have extenders or the baby Chaos Dragons, then you want to try and go for Safer. It'll help you out in the long run. Alright, so then you could use Safer's effect to send itself to the graveyard in order to add Black Dragon Collapse Serpent from your deck to your hand. And when Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, let's see if I can find that here. Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, you could banish any light from your graveyard to summon it. So because we actually have an extra light, we'll go ahead and banish that Maximus to summon it. Now you could also banish Magius, but sometimes You use Magius to recycle into the deck for a Pot of Avarice, so you could, I guess, make another move next turn maybe too. So it's just an option to think about. But anyways, we have our Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. We could send that to the graveyard in order to summon Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon, when it's summoned, will add a Boot Sector launch from your deck to your hand. And Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, when it's sent to the graveyard, will add a White Dragon River Burster from your deck to your hand. Now, these are both optional effects, so you could decide which one you want to place on a chain, on the chain. So I would say Black Dragon Collapse Serpent's more important. We could put that at Chain Link 1, and Striker Dragon is Chain Link 2. That means if your opponent's Ash Blossom with Joyous Springs, they can only negate the Striker Dragon and you get your free extender. So let's do it like that. That way you would add the Boot Sector launch first, and then you'd add the White Dragon River Burster, because the Chain Link would resolve backwards. So that would be Chain Link 2, or sorry, Chain Link 1 and Chain Link 2. Alright. And then now you could go ahead and summon the White Dragon River Burster by banishing Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. And that will go ahead and summon your Saryuja Skull Dread in your deck by using 4 monsters as link materials. That way you could draw 4 and you could recycle 3. Now these 2 cards you could only recycle unless you draw a rocket monster. It's just a card you probably want to recycle. But if you do, next turn you could use this card to recover, or you could use this turn as an extender. This card hasn't been used yet, so it's still an extender, but it's a good card to recycle back to sometimes. So, anyways, let's go ahead and go for another combo, because from here the combos definitely could vary. These are just little startup combos you could do. Saryuja just makes things more interesting. So let's say instead of 2 Crusadias, you actually have 1 Formid Skipper and 1 Crusadia. So in this combo, you could actually play through Nibiru. So what you do is you normal summon a Formid Skipper, and Formid Skipper has an effect where you can reveal an extra deck monster, and then it gets the name, the type, and I think the attribute. So you go ahead and activate this effect to copy your Crusadia Spatha, and when it's treated as Crusadia Spatha, you could send it to the graveyard in order to summon Crusadia Magius. Magius cannot use itself as a link material to summon itself, so it has to be Spatha in order to summon Magius. Alright, and then now when a Formid Skipper is sent to the graveyard, you get to add a Cybers level 8 monster from your deck to your hand. So we'll go ahead and add Paralog Seed from our deck to our hand. And now you could go ahead and summon the Maximus underneath the Magius. That will cause Magius' effect to activate, which will add a Crusadia Draco from our deck to our hand. Then you could go ahead and send those both to the graveyard in order to link summon the Crusadia Spatha. Now since you just link summoned, you could activate that Paralog Seed effect in your hand to summon it directly underneath Spatha. And when Paralog Seed when Paralog Seed has been summoned by its own effect, you get to special summon another copy of itself from your deck. They both become level 4. So that means you can actually exceed summon a Trap Trickster Flesia. And Trap Trickster Flesia has an effect where if your opponent activates... Scared me. So now that you have a free zone that has a link arrow that points to it, you could activate Crusadia Draco's effect. That will summon itself, and then you can add the Crusadia monster from your graveyard to your hand. Since you use Magius, it's not an extender this turn, but it is a free card. So, you could go ahead and send Draco to the graveyard once again to summon LP. And we'll go ahead and move LP thanks to Spank's effect. And we'll go ahead and summon the Safer, send a Safer to the graveyard in order to add the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, banish a light. In this case, we actually have Formant Skipper, which is another light monster. So a little synergy there. And then we could send this to the graveyard for Striker Dragon. Now Striker Dragon and Black Dragon Collapse Serpent will both activate. So we'll do a Chain Link 1 and then 2. So it'll resolve backwards. You add the Boost Sector Launch from Striker, and then you add the White Dragon River Burster from Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, and we'll go ahead and summon that right now. So there you go. You have the 4 monsters you need into order to draw 4 and shuffle 3 from Yugioh. So let's go ahead and go through another combo. This time, instead of opening Formant Skipper, we'll actually open, let's see, Parallel Exceed and 2 Crusadia monsters. Alright, so this is a little bit different because last time the Traptrix Rafflesia was actually the 7th summon, so there was a window your opponent could have Nibiru, but this time there won't be that window. So what you do is you summon the Leonis, just like the first combo. You send it to the graveyard for Magius, and then you go ahead and activate Parallel Exceed's effect first. So when Parallel Exceed is summoned to the zone, it activates its own effect, and then Magius will also activate. Now, I would recommend doing both of them right this, because if your Parallel Exceed does get ashed, you kind of have to link these 2 off into a spat, and you won't get your Magius effect. So you do want to do that. And as far as importance goes, it depends on your hand. If you have a Draco in your hand, then you don't need to search for Magius, so if it gets negated, it's no big deal. But if you don't, then I would actually play Magius as Chain Link 1, Parallel Exceed as Chain Link 2. So in that case, let's say it's Chain Link 2, we'll go ahead and summon a Parallel Exceed from our deck, and then we'll go ahead and add a Draco from our deck to our hand. And now, as our 5th summon, you can go ahead and summon the Traptrix or Rafflesia. So now if your opponent has any monster effects, any hand traps that are monsters, you can negate them and continue your plays. And then you could go, of course, follow up by, instead of summoning the Draco immediately, I would say summon the Maximus. See, the combo you could have done hasn't used Maximus at all yet, so you could still summon the Draco. The problem is, at this point, you could turn these into Spatha, and you wouldn't have a dragon in order to use the guard dragons. But if this way, you could actually summon the Maximus underneath the Magius, and then you could turn those both into a Spatha, and now you still have a dragon to turn it into the guard dragon combo. So we'll go ahead and special summon the Draco, and we did use the Maximus, so we'll go ahead and add Leonis as an extra extender later on, and then of course you could continue the standard play by summoning the LP underneath Spatha, moving it in order to summon, where is it? Starly Seyfert. Seyfert's effect, send itself to the graveyard to add the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, which was summoned by banishing the Maximus. And then you could go ahead and send the Collapse Serpent for Striker, Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. We'll go ahead and add the Boost Sector Launch and the White Dragon River Burster from our deck to our hand. And then you go ahead and summon that by banishing your Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. Now you have a Yugioh that's protected, and it's your 5th summon. Alright, and let's go ahead and do some test hands. Let's go ahead and do a few test hands and see what we can end with. So let's shuffle this deck real fast. And draw 5 cards. Alright. this will be interesting, just because it'll be a simpler combo. So these two, let's see what we can do with this. Alright, so we'll go ahead and normal summon Leonis, have it treated as, or turned into Magius. Since we did like summon, we'll go ahead and special summon Parallel Exceed. That will trigger Parallel Exceed's effect. I mean, to special summon itself, and add another Parallel Exceed deck to our hand, or sorry, to the field, while also triggering Magius's effect. So in this case, Magius would be Chainlink 1, Parallel Exceed, Chainlink 2. Resolve the Parallel Exceed, summon itself. Now they're both level 4. And we'll go ahead and add that Crusadia Draco. So we won't be summoning the guard dragons yet with this hand. Well, let's see what we could do. So we gotta move this. Let's think about this for a second. Yeah, you know what? I think we're actually gonna have to use the Parallel Exceed as a monster material for Crusadia Spatha. So now that we go the Spatha, we'll go ahead and special summon the Draco underneath it, which will add the Leonis. And now you could send this to the graveyard for LP. It'll be LP to summon. We got Blue-Eyes and Galactic Spiral. Summon the tuner, or sorry, the where is it? Safer. One extender, but we're locked in the dragons thanks to LP, so we gotta go for Safer. Safer's effect. Where is it? Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. Banishing the Magius. And then send this to the grave. For Striker Dragon. That'll be Chainlink 1, 2. So we'll add Boot Sector Launch first. And then we'll add White Dragon River Burster, which will summon. Well, actually, yeah, I think we're actually going to go for Star Yugioh right off the bat. Yeah, because we already used LP's effect. Okay. Alright. So Star Yugioh will draw 4. 1, 2. Oh, I didn't shuffle with that. Let's go. 3 and 4. Alright. Okay, so the cards we're gonna add back: Blue-Eyes, Boot Sector Launch, probably Dark Ruin no more. Okay. We don't have access to the big Chaos Dragons other than with Chaos Space. So we'll probably do that. Could send those to the graveyard. For, what is it? The Pioneer. Dragon Pioneer. Alright, now we can banish the Black Dragon Flap Serpent, or White Dragon River Burster, and then we'll go ahead and use Chaos Space Effect to shuffle that Black Dragon back and draw a card. Let's see what else we get. So we gotta try and get the White Stone of Legend before we use Pisty's effect. If possible. Or Pot of Avarice. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's see what we got in the grave. Could do that. No, that's 3 that we really don't care about. Yeah, this would be 4. Alright, let's see. I'm going to wait on the Avarice. Let's see, so I gotta summon. Oh yeah, the Pioneer first. So, dark, light. Okay, so let's go for 3 darks maybe? 1, 2. Ooh. 1, 2. Banish the spiral. I guess we could use the quick launch. Well, let's go ahead and send this to the graveyard for a Pisty. That will trigger White Dragon Waver Burster's effect to add Black Dragon. And now we actually have, I think, enough lights. Sorry, this is kind of tricky. I think I'm gonna go for Avarice right now. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. Okay. See what we draw. Hopefully that works. We gotta keep the lights in our graveyard. Alright. 1, 2. Oh, okay. But unfortunately, we're locked in the dragons. So let's go ahead and use Seyfried's effect. Oh, sorry, to banish itself, to add the spiral to our hand. Then we'll use Pisty's effect to summon the Seyfried, and we'll turn those into Romulus. Alright. So now we could add the field spell to our hand. Dragon Ravine. We still have a Pioneer to start. Okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and activate that by sending the Spiral to our graveyard. We'll send the White Stone of Legend to our graveyard, which will trigger and activate, adding us a Blue Eyes. Alright, so now we finally have access to the White Stone of Legend, which we will have to summon pretty soon. But I think before we do that, we should probably try and go for a Appaloosa. So we'll go ahead and special summon both of these. What's it gonna go for? Wait a minute. Another one. Let's go for try and summon this White Stone. Okay, 1, 2. Safer would be 3. Yeah. Banish those 3 to summon the White Stone. Alright. And then we could finally use either one of these. We'll go for Leonis, I guess. And now we could send these to the graveyard for a Halqified Rats. Activate in order to summon another White Stone. And by the way, we were supposed to search for the Blue Eyes. So one more Blue Eyes on the deck, which is fine. Turn these into Appaloosa, or the Goddess, with 2 materials, 2 counters. Alright. Let's see our extra deck. So we have Hieratic Seal. I think we're good with Link Summoning. So we do those. We haven't used Saryuja's effect, so we'll go ahead and activate Saryuja and summon up Blue Eyes. Now we'll go ahead and link these 2 for Blue Eyes Spirit. That will get our 3rd Blue-Eyes White Dragon from our deck to our hand. And then finally, we can go ahead and, oh wait, we'll use another extender. We haven't used the Fleecia yet, so we'll summon it underneath Skull Dread. And finally, turn those 2 dragons into a Hieratic Seal. And since we have 2 lights, we'll go ahead and activate Galactic Spiral, turn them both into level 8, or Hieratic Seal, or sorry, Hope Harbinger. Alright, finally, we have 1 more card in our hand. A quick launch we'll use to summon Rocket Tracer. Wow, look at all those. Rocket Tracer from the deck. Destroy the Ravine in order to special summon Silver Rocket. And now you could link these 2, or synchro summon into Warlord Savage Dragon. And Warlord Savage will equip the Saryuja from the graveyard to it. Alright, and that's pretty much our end board. So with that, we have 2 more interruptions in our hand. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 interruptions against your opponent. That's insane. We also have 2 blue eyes in our hand. These 2 cards as extenders next turn. And what else do we have in our extra deck? We have Rafflesia, and I guess we have an LP. So this is basically most of our boss monsters, but we could still go into some of the bigger dragons. We haven't used Armageddon or Alternative this turn, so they're still in the deck. And the monster we'll summon from that could be protected from Hope Harbinger, so that'll probably be the it's a Quackimaro Draco, but it could also be another dragon to help you get into some of the other cards. These 2 could be used to summon Rafflesia too, so yeah, it's pretty nice. Let's see our graveyard. Yeah, sometimes I like to check and see if we have any extra cards, so Sacred and Chaos Base, for example. But we already used this turn, so you know, I think it's pretty good board. All right, let's go ahead and do another test hand. All right, let's try and do another test hand here. So last time it was it's a pretty cool board that we ended with, but let's see if maybe we could get a different board. Maybe seem to fluctuate between Rafflesia, Blue-Eyes Spirit, and Warlord Savage. So let's see what kind of board we get this hand. But yeah, you always want to end on Hieratic Seal and Hope Harbinger, Titanic Galaxy. So okay. We got 3 Crusadias. That's pretty cool. Chaos Space is always nice. Alright, so let's go ahead and so Arborea can be used for yeah, I think I'm going to start with Arborea. That way we can protect our monster that comes out, our Magius. So we'll go ahead and summon Crusadia Magius, and then we'll go ahead and activate, I guess, Leonis. And then we have Chaos Space, so we'll go ahead and trigger Magius' effect to search. There it is, Crusadia Draco. We'll link those off into a Crusadia Spatha, and that will allow us to go ahead and summon our Crusadia Draco from our hand, which will get our Arborea back. That way we have access to White Stone of Legend off the bat, since we have access to Halqified Rats. So now we could go ahead and summon Guard Dragons. Our Dragon LP, and we'll go ahead and use Spatha's effect. And now we could use LP's effect, since we have a zone with 2 arrows. We'll go ahead and summon baby, where are ya? The Starlage Safers. Even though we do have Chaos Space, we could save that for the bigger dragons. So let's use Safer to go into the smaller ones. Where are you? Safer, we'll send Safer to the graveyard in order to add Black Dragon Collapse Serpent to our hand, and we'll go ahead and summon it by banishing the Magius. And then we'll go ahead and send the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent for Striker, and that will activate a chain. So we'll do Chainlink 1 for Black Dragon, Chainlink 2 for Striker. We'll add Boot Sector Launch first, and then White Dragon River Burster, which we will then summon. Or, well, yeah, we're locked into dragons next to LP, so we'll wait on this card. So yeah, let's go ahead and play that Yugioh. Alright, so we have a Yugioh's Full Dread effect, and no other monster is going to activate right now. I always tend to double check just because sometimes you have a white Stone of Legend, or sometimes if it's your first Baby Chaos Dragon, you'll search for the other counterpart. But in this case, yeah, Yugioh is going to be solo, so we shuffle, since we did search quite a bit, and then we'll draw 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, okay. So let's see. We don't need the boot sector launch, and which one did we summon? We summoned Milnus. So these are both extenders. That's pretty cool. We don't need a Dark Ruler anymore, and maybe the Gravedigger's Trap Hole. But honestly, it's a pretty decent card right now. So, it's kind of tricky. Yeah, probably the Gravedigger's Trap Hole. There is a chance where we could draw because of Chaos Space, so you never know. Maybe we'll draw a Formant Skipper. Okay, and first things first, you have an extender right there, and then you also have the Halka Brax. We don't really have any lighter darks for Chaos Space yet, so the dragons that we could get are not that beneficial for Mortal Legacy Guard dragons, so we'll go ahead and activate both Arborea and Reclusi's effects to special summon them underneath Yugioh's Skuldred, which will summon the Halka Brax, and that will go ahead and summon out the White Stone of Legend from our deck. Alright, and from there, we could put this right here actually, just because we want to go into Pisty right now. Alright, and that will activate White Stone of Legends effect, and now we could use Pisty's effect. Probably. Let me see actually. Trying to think if maybe we should go into Chaos Space right now. Maybe we should use Chaos Space right now. Most important one would probably be the Linear. Now you could banish 3 lights, do White Stone of Legends, Spatha, and Wither Burster. Alright. For Chaos Dragon of Vioneer. Or maybe that was a bad choice. Ooh. Maybe I should have done that. Okay, so instead of White Stone of Legend, let's banish, I guess, Blue-Eyes. Okay, that way you could revive the White Stone of Legend. I was trying to use Pisty first. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually going to save that. Let's not do that, just because there's a chance we could get Beard, so let's wait. I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to think when I have all this stuff right here. So No, I use that. Okay. We use Pisty's effect. And let's turn this into a GoblinHands. You want to keep as many cards in your hand as possible, just in case you can. You do get Yugioh and a Blue-Eyes. Alright. Yeah. So we'll go into Arborea. 2 counters. Alright. Now we could go into Chaos Dragon Pioneer. We could maybe revive the Blue-Eyes actually. And we could go into Blue-Eyes Spirit. Yeah. So, how many lights do we have? Are these all the lights? Oh, we have a safer. Oh, we haven't used Yugioh's effect either. Ooh. Okay, we'll save the safer. We still have one more Blue-Eyes in the deck. So let's go ahead and revive the White Stone Legend. And we'll banish these 3. Now we could use Chaos Space's effect, banishing it. Well, let's go ahead and maybe use Yugioh's effect first. Summon Blue-Eyes into Spirit. That way you search for the final Blue-Eyes and you don't draw it. There's a chance it could. Alright. Oops. Okay. So, now you could use Chaos Space effect, banish it, in order to add White Dragon Wyvern Burster back to the deck, and draw a card. Crusadia Arborea, okay. Alright. Could use this. Maybe we could save it for next turn. So we have a Pioneer. It's our Yugioh. We haven't used Ravine yet. Go ahead and use Ravine right now. Discarding probably the Blue-Eyes. Oh, we should keep the Blue-Eyes actually. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and send Galactic Spiral to the graveyard. Although, yeah, that's cool. So right now we have one extender, and 2 for the spiral. Okay. Alright, so I'll use Spiral's effect since I have a light and a dark, and then we'll go ahead and use White Dragon River Burster, or World Legacy Guard Dragon. Revive the Whitestone. Now I'll make them both level 8. Go into a Hope Harbinger. And then finally, we'll go ahead and turn those both into a Hieratic Seal. And since I used my third, I already have my third Blue Eyes, it doesn't matter about Whitestone. But I do actually have Starleaf Safer, and I could banish to re-add the Levianeer. So that's cool. And let's go ahead and check our field. So we have an Imperm and a Called By. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Interruptions. A Floodgate, follow up with a Levianeer. We could make a Boiled Savage and a Trap Tricks Rafflesia potentially. So that's not too bad for a pretty simple field. Okay. So let's maybe do one more. Alright. Okay, let's go ahead and shuffle. Okay, pretty simple board. I think what we're gonna do is just the standard or the Forward Skipper combo. So let's go ahead and normal summon Forward Skipper, have it treated as Spatha to summon a Magius. That will go ahead and summon, to search out Parallel Exceed. And now we have the Crusadia Leonis. That'll trigger Magius's effect to search out Draco. We'll go ahead and turn those both into Spatha and trigger out the Parallel Exceeds effect. Summon out another one from our deck. It's both level 8, and we'll go ahead and use our 7th summon to summon out that Trap Tricks Rafflesia. Alright. And what can we do with this hand? Okay, so now we can go ahead and use the Crusadia Draco, special summon it underneath Spatha, and we'll re-add the Leonis, which is not an extender because we already used its effect. We'll go ahead and send that to the graveyard for our Dragon LP. Use Spatha's effect to move LP, and then based on our hand, no tuners. We do actually have a quick launch, so worst case scenario, I guess we could access Whitestone with that too. But yeah, Chaos Species is kind of dead, so I think I'm gonna go for Starleaf Safer. Just make sure where it is. What? There it is. Alright, so we'll send Safer to the graveyard for Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, banishing the Forward Skipper, and then we'll send Black Dragon for the Striker Dragon. So Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. Striker Resolve first, searching for the boot sector launch. And then we'll get the White Dragon River Burster, which we shall summon by banishing a dark Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. Alright, so now we have 4. Yeah. So let's go for the start Yugioh. Alright. Shuffle the deck. See what we draw. So how many cards are there? 5 already. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we already used Format Skipper and Leonis. So we don't need to use those this turn. Boot sector launch is not quite that bad. Next turn we could use it as a recovery play. So yeah, I'm gonna put these ones back at the bottom. And now we have a Dark Dragon to send to the graveyard from Chaos Space in order to add some of the bigger dragons. So we'll go ahead and activate that right now. So we could add Chaos Dragon Levianeer. It's our go-to one. And then we'll go ahead and activate Chaos Space, banishing itself to put the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent back into the deck. Is it to the bottom? I think it's to the bottom. Yeah, then I draw a card. Okay, Arborea. That's pretty cool. Alright, so now we have access to the White Stone Legend. So we'll go ahead and special summon Arborea and Maximus. Send those to the graveyard. For Kriston Halqifibrax, we'll put that over there. And now we have access to the White Stone of Legend. So we'll go ahead and send that to the graveyard for Pisty. And then we'll go ahead and activate White Stone's effect at Blue-Eyes. How many Blue-Eyes is that? That's just 1, right? And then we'll go ahead and revive White Stone. So let's see. You have a Levianeer. So Yugioh. Yeah, I think we should go for Romulus. That'll trigger the White Stone again. And as well as the White Stone Chain Link 1, Dragoonity Romulus Chain Link 2. So we'll search Ravine first. And then we'll go ahead and we don't even need to use Ravine this turn because we have Galactic Spiral, but we could also have access to the Chaos Emperor Dragon, so I think we will do that. So we'll go ahead and activate Ravine and discard a Blue-Eyes in order to send Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon, to the graveyard. And we'll go ahead and banish the Safer to add it to our hand. So a little utility for adding the bigger Chaos Dragons to our hand. We don't have Melody of Awakening Dragon or Hard Drawn. Alright. Okay, let's go ahead and make that Appaloosa. And now we have not used the Saryuja yet either. How many blue eyes? We have one more in the deck. So let's go ahead and revive that white stone one more time using Levineer by banishing 3 lights. So Maximus, Spatha, and maybe White Dragon River Burster. That will revive White Stone of Legend. And we could special summon Blue Eyes using Saryuja's effect. We'll go ahead and... Oh my gosh, scared me. We'll go ahead and make the Blue-Eyes Spirit Dragon. Search for the final White Stone of Legend. Or Blue Eyes, sorry. Final Blue Eyes. And now, let's see. I will save Chaos Emperor, I think. For next turn, probably. No, actually, I think we're gonna need it. Ooh. Okay. Alright, so we gotta end on a Titanic Galaxy somehow, too. Let's go ahead and turn these both into a Hieratic Seal. And Titanic Galaxy, so we're actually going to save the quick launch for next turn, I think. So let's go ahead and activate the Chaos Emperor Dragon, the Armageddon, in our Pendulum Zone. Destroy itself to add a dragon to our hand. Be safer, probably. So next turn we can use Safer's effect. And now we'll banish a Dark Dragon. Probably Striker and a Light, so maybe Magnus. And now we could summon Armageddon. And we'll go ahead and use... Where is he? Galactic Spiral. We'll summon that to the field. Finally, overlay these two for number 38, Hope Harbinger, Hieratic Seal. So it's a similar end board, but you do have quite a few things going for you. You still have a Warlord Savage Dragon, and it's a very live Warlord Savage Dragon because we have Quick Launch and Boost Sector Launch in our hand for next turn. Safer could recycle a lot of your cards since it's not banished right now. You could recycle your Levianeer, your Armageddon, and Armageddon's not even going to be sent to the deck, it's going to be sent to the graveyard, so that's pretty cool, as well as Galactic Spiral. So these are two very useful materials. And then you also have another interruption with Infinite Impermanence. You have a Blue Eyes if you draw Melody or alternative. You have those other two Blue Eyes. So it's a pretty cool board right here. So let's see what we have for our end board. We have one interruption with Impermanence. We have another with Blue-Eyes Spirit Dragon. Another with Hieratic Seal. And then this is 2 material Appaloosa, 2 counter Appaloosa. And then we have Hope Harbinger. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 with Rafflesia. So 7 Interruptions. What is it? A floodgate and potential recovery shenanigans. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up with that combo. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna do Harpies, Red Eyes, Blue Eyes, sorry, probably Chaos Max, and maybe other decks too, you know. I have Unchained, it's pretty cool. A few other dark decks, Dark Lords. Just let me know what kind of decks you guys are interested in seeing. And if you have any questions about any of the combos, just let me know in the comments down below. And thank you so much for watching this video. Happy dueling. Goodbye.